5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? I know everyone is having a legendary week. Ladies and gentlemen, we have San Francisco 49er football to talk about. No one can see here. Yeah, okay. So we got Niner football to talk about. Some OTAs. We have video of Trey Lance throwing 3 passes. You know, that I know that Jason and I were talking about how everybody's gonna, overanalyze and shit. We have him in the green room right now. We're gonna go ahead and before we get started, of course, we got to remind everybody to listen to the end of the show to get your special coupon code for 10% off of For the Faithful, By the Faithful Season 2 apparel, exclusively available at NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop. Help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link and save 10%. All you have to do is click on the link in the description of the video or podcast, and it'll take you right to the website. You make a purchase, we make a small percentage of that. Go to SeatGiant.com, use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert and theater tickets, as well as help out Niner Faithful Radio. Of course, go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, and follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and Twitter on at Niner Faithful R. Ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, let's get the show cracking.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
All right, we're back. Let me go ahead and bring on man. I was cracking. What's up with you, Jason?
Hola, bicholas.
Hola, bicholas. I like that. Anyway, so
OTAs, we got football. Yay!
I mean, and we really honestly found out it's 80. Well, now it's. I don't even want to do the math right now. I just woke up from a nap, y'all. I ain't gonna even lie.
So what, 83 days from the season? I think it's
something like that. Friday was 84. So when it minus
I think it's 15 days. Sundays.
Yeah, something like that. Well, regular season. I was talking about preseason.
I'm talking regular.
Because we'll have that first game against Green Bay. Which really, let's be real, I don't even think Aaron Rodgers makes that trip.
He might do the usual thing where the starters come out for like one series. Like a 3 and out and get out. I can see him doing that. Is that here or is that in Green Bay?
It's here. And then
Minnesota. He's coming. He's going to show up.
It's Minnesota, which I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I know last time I heard they were working on doing joint practices that week, i.e. LA last year.
I thought that was confirmed that they were doing.
Okay, that was confirmed. Okay.
I think.
Or at least they're working on it and will be that's going to happen. And then the last week is Houston. In Houston. And then we'll fly back, or I would assume we would fly back and then leave to go to Chicago. Which I'm kind of glad that we didn't get that, October Chicago game that, or late winter, or late in the season Chicago game.
Because it'd be cold as shit. I mean, no different than when we go to Green Bay or anything like that.
Yeah, no different than. I mean, we really lucked out with the schedule this year.
It's so nice.
Kyle Shanahan spoke today. I know that you didn't watch it, Jason. I mean, he didn't really say much except for the obvious news that everybody's going to walk away with, that he expects Jimmy to be traded. I don't know why everybody's acting like that big of a deal. He didn't really say anything that he didn't say in the owners meeting. You know, where I mean, he literally even was asked, "Hey, has anything changed?" And he was like, "No." You know, he was like, I mean,
people are just reaching. They want something to write about. It's like it'll happen when it's ready to happen.
That's exactly what it is. They're having something to write about. I didn't hear anything asked about Debo. He said that he expects Debo to be here for mandatory.
Yeah, he's technically still. I mean, most guys who were holding out or whatever you want to call it for contracts, they usually show up for mandatory.
Yeah. I mean, this is how I saw it. Debo's not showing up for voluntary. The only reason that's not a big deal is because of the contract situation. Because literally nobody's ever even mentioned the fact Trent Williams ain't there. Why? Because he doesn't have to be.
He's Bosa show up? So. I don't think Bosa showed up.
Not gonna show up. He said he expected all of them to be there for mandatory.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and he's spoken to all of them and everything. That's the other thing. He's spoken to Debo. I mean, he didn't come out and say it, but he said, I spoke to all the players. So to me, this is when I say, okay, I'm trusting you, Kyle, and assuming that things are going to, you know, work out with Debo and everything like that, and everything's hunky-dory and fine. Debo's doing this because he doesn't want to be here for OTA or whatever the situation is. But you've came out and you said that you've expected him to be here for OTA or for mandatory OTAs, which I believe begin next. Yeah, let me go ahead and pull that up. 49ers mandatory. And
I was looking it up too.
Cap. There you go. 49ers off-season workouts. Come on. Internet's being slow today. Well, there's nothing. That's not even. Oh, I thought that was this year. Date set from 49ers rookie camp off-season program. Here we go. Okay, the OTA dates are the 23rd, 25th through 26th, 31st, June 2nd, 3rd, and 6th through 9th. Mandatory camp is slated for June 14th through 16th. So,
yeah, we'll see what I'm
last day, Kyle, usually they end up bringing in like a bouncy house and stuff like that, and they have like a barbecue, I believe.
Yeah, they just kind of goof off the last day.
Yeah, I know that. Before, I'd be curious what happens this year, but I know before DJ Jones' dad comes in and barbecues for everybody.
Why his dad?
Now
does he own like a restaurant or something?
Oh yeah. His dad's like his dad's a famous cook and you haven't heard of his barbecue sauce?
No.
Yeah, apparently his barbecue sauce is like hella famous. But anyway. So that's I'd be curious what happens now, obviously with DJ and Denver. But which by the way is official. At least the game's not official, but your boy is going to be in Denver.
I know. You didn't tell me. Thanks.
Yeah, no, it is going to be officially. We are going to officially be in Denver. Thank you to the 5280 Mile High Niner Empire for they posted a cool page, you know, thanking us for confirming and coming out there to fuck with them. So we appreciate that. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And then we're still working on tickets for the game, and then we're going to go to Miami. I've a lot of people I've known that are selling tickets. I've sold out of the Miami game for some reason. I guess it's a hot ticket. I don't know why.
I find it weird. I think it's weird because it's going to be right after Thanksgiving, and a lot of people are going to be flying in and out. So I didn't think it'd be really that popular of a game, but apparently it is.
Yeah, apparently it's because I've just different Niner groups, and I got a part of a Facebook group that's full of, buy sell season ticket, group and all that. And every person I've seen post in there has the Dolphin game sold out.
We need to find a way to get like 6 tickets in a row so we can all sit together though. Because we can easily find like 2 or 3. That's easy. But getting enough for like 6 people would be a little rough.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. That'd be the easiest way to do it. Bubby, my girl's not tripping necessarily if she comes. She can take it or leave it. But yeah, anyway, we'll talk about that often. But so it's the now that he said that he expected Debo to be there, okay, then and he doesn't show, okay, then why not? Because clearly, either you're full of shit now, right? And you really don't expect Debo to be there, or you haven't communicated to Debo. Debo's not answering your calls. Debo's not answering your texts, and whatever. You don't want to admit that now, or something shit like what was this? Because now, Kyle, I can't believe you at your word because something's different now. Because you said you expected it. Fine, I take you at your word. You expect him to be here for mandatory. Now maybe he has told Kyle, hey, I'm showing up, but I'm not going to participate. And I want to say that, look, I want to say I understand why Debo's doing this. Part of me is like, look, when the Niners have set the precedence, like, look, George Kittle showed up, Fred Warner showed up. You feel me? And apparently, from what I've heard through the grapevine and just people talking, the Kittle and fucking Kittle negotiation did not go well. And there was, animosity.
They were pretty far apart at first.
Yeah, and it was not as pleasant. And just, hey, George is gonna always be a Niner, and George, I always want to be a Niner, and everything like that. So George Kittle just didn't go public with it.
Yeah.
He still was like, hey, I'm a leader of this team, whatever.
Business. I don't think people they walk in, everybody's like happy, joy, lucky, blah blah blah. It's a contract negotiation for money. Egos are involved, stuff like that.
And let's be real, and I want to say this is that, I never really like to say the father thing just because, the situation with the kiddo and stuff like that. That as a father, man, I can't imagine being in the position when she was first born or however old Debo's kid is. I know it can't be more than a year old.
It's like a couple months, I think.
Yeah, exactly. He was born last season. His son was born last season, so he can't even be a year old. Yeah. I can't be imagining the decision at the age Debo is to say, because he was probably around my age when I had my kid. So this is what, 24, 25, 26? I was 24 when I had Jasmine, or
early
almost 24. Yeah, I can't be imagining the situation where we're really talking about his children's children being set up for life. And so we
talked about it before.
Yeah, I don't want to be mad at Debo the person because I want to say, hey, bro, I understand. I can't possibly even imagine being in a negotiation for whatever and millions more money than we'll ever see in our life. Probably a couple lifetimes.
Yeah,
honestly, just the amount of money that you get, and I mean, and it is. Look, I think what it is, I think Debo was a little butthurt because he didn't expect to have to go through this difficult of a negotiation. He felt like, I don't even think it's the ego part of it. I think it's just the fact is I'm Debo Samuels. Look what I did for you. Look what I did for this
That's
team.
ego, man.
Yeah. And
his ego is telling him, I know I am worth more than what you just threw on the table.
Well, that, and I mean, it's one of the reasons why they say you can't work with friends.
Yeah.
And you really truly can't be your boss's friend.
Yeah.
Because why? Because when you go in and ask for that raise, and your boss has to say no because it doesn't make sense as a good business decision,
or you just haven't earned it,
or you haven't earned it, or can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know,
but you don't want to
like
tell your friend, no, man,
I would
can't
love
pay
to
you more.
pay y'all. I would love to pay y'all for all the work that y'all do. Can't afford it, bro. Where would y'all like me to pull it from?
Yeah.
Please let me know. You know, same thing I tell Kim when she's still complaining about the stuff I was supposed to send her. Cool. Where would you like me to pull the money to send a box full of cups and everything to freaking Pennsylvania? Anyway, so yeah, I had to get that jab in there. But so now if he doesn't show up, I am gonna ask, okay, so what happened? Now, if he shows up and doesn't participate or whatever, or shows up and says, hey, you know, I'm here for my teammates and all that, even if he says, look, fuck Kyle, fuck John, fuck Parag.
I honestly think that'd be funny as shit if he said that, though.
It would be hilarious. You know, I'm here for my teammates. You know, I'm here for my fans. I don't even care. I don't, because I've came out and I've said it. I've been quite clear. I want Debo for 3 more years.
Yeah.
That's probably about as comfortable as I am. So I've never had visions and fantasies of Debo playing a 10, you know, making the 9 or 10-year wall. The only Niner I could honestly really see making the 10-year wall on this team right now is Nick Bosa and Fred Warner.
Bosa, yeah. Warner, yeah. I don't think Bosa could do it because Bosa also has some of his injury issues. But at the same time, he's going to get offered so much money at some point. It might just be one of those things where it's just like, I can't say no to it. If the Niners are only going to offer, you know, say $20 million a year, and you got, I don't know, the Giants offering 40, why would you say no? You know what I mean? Something.
And that's the thing about it is that, and that's the thing that frustrates me because, you know, people will look at it and let's take the Dolphins for example. They went out and they spent some money.
Yeah.
You know, this year Tyreek and all that and everything. And my thing about it is, you know, people saying, oh, they're gonna pay, you know, they'll pay Bosa $40 million, and Bosa will want to go back to Florida, and you know, no state tax and all those things that we always hear. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I think what makes the Niners an attractive destination is cool, but how often have the Dolphins really competed? Like, yeah. As much shit as people give Niner fans, let's just go since Harbaugh, right? So you're talking about 2011 to now, right? So you're talking about 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 11 seasons. How many teams have made the playoffs, even majority of those 11 seasons?
Yeah.
And so I think the league is random. So, yeah, the Dolphins could compete for a playoff spot for a year or two, but it's...
And they have. They
have. And, you know...
They're not a perennial franchise. They're one of the older ones, but they're not a perennial franchise.
No. I'm actually, you know what? One of the cool things I think about the Dolphins coming in this year is I've obviously never been to a Niners Dolphins game. I'm curious, like, I've never really heard about the Dolphins fan base. You know, sure, my dad being from Florida, like my Grammy's a Dolphins fan. You know, she's from Florida. So I'm curious to see what their fan base is like.
I know 2. That's it.
I know 1.
I got my boy Mac that I'm coming down with in December, and then I worked with another guy for a while. I don't work with him anymore, but those are the only 2 guys I knew that used to rep Dolphins all the time. Other than that, never met you never see anybody repping Dolphins unless it's somebody like a Dan Marino jersey from back in the day or something like that.
Yeah, it's just like I've seen like I remember there was this where I was go and I would stay every now and then when we were doing the Twitch streams last year.
Yeah,
that house I would go stay in every now and then. In that trailer park, there was this dude who had like a random house in there that had a Dolphins flag. He had like a Dolphins flag and like I think like wind chimes or something. So like, it's always been like that. Like it'd be like I'll be in like one random neighborhood or something like that, just random place, and there'd just be like some random Dolphin fan.
Yeah.
But
well, they're also with being in Florida. That's more of college football territory, to be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where my dad's from. So,
yeah.
Well, he's not from Miami.
It's definitely a college area more than NFL.
Yeah, well, I mean, Florida State, Florida are big schools. I know
Miami,
Florida, Miami,
Florida, FAU. I mean,
FAU.
they've got a ton of teams down in Florida. So, two are usually pretty good. One, at least, usually two of those teams are usually good. Versus, like you said, with the Dolphins, how often are they good?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like I've always felt like Miami would be a little bit like here, where it's there's a billion things to do. That's always the thing, when they say that ticket sales are short for the Niners, is because it's the Bay Area. People will watch a bad football team in Green Bay, Wisconsin, because there ain't shit else to do.
That's part of it.
Now fine, maybe make an argument about and this is never a stab against Whackers fans, because I'm not saying that they're die hard, and the reason that they're die hard is because there's not shit to do in Wisconsin. That's not what I'm saying. Like, they're legit fans. Like don't get me twisted. They're real. But the Niners, because of the prestige and the winning and the I mean, that's why I love taking my girl to Niner events, especially, something that she's never, like, for example, when we went to the All Chapters barbecue last Saturday. She's never been to, a chapter barbecue, really, except for the one in Modesto. So she's never seen one in the Bay where a good chunk of this fan base is able to show up. Because let's be real, we're most Niner fans out here in the Bay Area. So, seeing her just look about like, wow, it's a random Saturday in May, and okay, yeah, it's nice weather. It was 80 degrees, and okay, it's barbecue, fine, but like, not even just like people showed up, and it's like, but like how many people came decked out, and like how big it was, and the flags, and the and so that's what
when we have the stuff up here in Seattle, this shit gets pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, it's
like when they do the one of those polar plunge things every year. Mm-hmm. The biggest group that shows up is the Seattle group.
Yeah.
Still, to this day, for like the last, I don't know, 10-ish years or so, they raise the most money and they still have the most people doing the plunge compared to all the local groups. It's still the 49ers group that shows up the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, and so
like said, there's no Dolphins fans doing that.
I mean, and it's well, let's be real. Why are the Niners so big? It's because I think that each generation, obviously not so much anymore, has had a reason. I mean, a lot of older people are Niner fans. Why? Because why are you a Mississippi Niner fan? Well, yeah, probably because either Jerry Rice, or you
want to jump on a good team.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the same as like a lot of Warrior fans. Like I like to tell people, like, yeah, there are Warrior fans, here in the Bay. Always have been.
But then it's also become really cool in the last 10 years to be a Warriors fan.
I promise you, it was not like you are now. Like I promise you, like, I don't notice it because I'm from here or whatever. But I'm pretty sure if I think back, I could probably at least on two hands count how many people I saw, like, wearing something, whether it's a hat, a lanyard, whatever it is. I promise you, it was not like that, before their run. It wasn't. At least not here.
Just like it is in Seattle, it just crashes.
Yeah, I mean,
a pest company was one of the Warriors' sponsors.
Yeah, a pest company was one of the Warriors sponsors. But I mean, that's what I'm really curious about. I'm really curious to see how the quote unquote 12 is this year. You feel me? I think they have a chance to have an okay football team. You know, I think that they're gonna win some games. I don't think they're gonna get swept by every team in the division. I can see them having one of those years where they just split with everybody.
They're going to pull some upsets. They're going to get blown out a few times. It also depends on who their quarterback is.
Yeah, and when you play somebody, it's never who you play. It's when you play them.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd be more scared of Geno Smith than I would be of Drew Lock.
Example, my favorite example that you playing them after getting Drew Lock and playing them after they play Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be a spent game.
Because, you know, it's going to be like when Jeff Fisher kept his job for how long in LA simply because he could beat Seattle when Seattle was at the top of the league. They went 2-14 the rest of the year, but he beat Seattle, and so they kept him around. Okay, if you can beat Seattle, you can beat every other team.
I think Jeff Fisher to me was the perfect example of how there's just a lot of like 8-8 coaches in the league.
Yeah.
And how like it's just how many teams aren't dedicated to winning. Like, you know, like listening to the Believe in 49er podcast, the Eric Davis podcast, you know, and hearing him talk about Detroit and just, you know, or just different people in my family or just different fans hearing them talk about their management or, you know, dealing with
it's trash.
You know, the team or whatever like that. And just how like people who cover the Niners or just cover the NFL. Like, I don't know of another team that does the state of the franchise.
I know they don't do one up here in Seattle. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
I can't say about a team, but I don't. I know for sure Seattle doesn't do one.
The Niners give you a fair amount of access.
Yeah.
And there's something that there's always some type of content to talk about and to get you going. Anyway, we said we were going to talk about OTAs and everything. I wanted to get in a little bit of storylines for OTAs. Obviously with I'm just going to say go ahead and say it. Alex Mack's retirement, which like I don't want to say that. Like that's what it seems like is happening. So like I have to say that's what it's happening because it seems like it's a fact now. You know what I'm saying? And I can't.
What are they waiting for? Like I can understand.
That's what's getting. I don't understand.
Trent and Joe, I understood it. They didn't want us to play our hand. So yes. Joe was cool. It's like I'm not going to say I'm retiring. You guys can go get Trent. Then they don't know who we're going to pick with our pick. I get that. We have replacements already. It's past the draft. What more? What are we waiting for?
And it's not like some ceremony. Like
it's not like he's been a Niner for 20 years.
Yeah, and so like sure, I understand showing them the respect of he's retiring for your team, allowing him to make the announcement, and even if he wants to do a press conference, you know, and answer questions, you know, cool, awesome. So, but like to make the announcement, and fine, it could simply just be Kyle because I don't have to, you know. And okay, Alex does have the right. He can wait until the day before the season to make the announcement.
Yeah.
He doesn't owe anything to us. You know, the man's on his honeymoon. Kyle said he's in a different country.
Yeah, I knew he just got married, like over the weekend or something. So I mean, but you could have done it before. The draft's been how long? You know, a week or two ago. Like, hey, by the way, I'm retiring. I'm gonna go get married and ride off into the sunset. Cool.
Yeah, and my life. Cool, awesome. Thank you for your 1 year.
Yeah, and I got no problem with Mac. I think he was a pretty good center.
Oh no. He played well last year, and when he signed, nobody was foolish enough to think we got
5 years out of him.
Yeah, the answer to the future of the center position for the Niners. Nobody thought that. I wouldn't even be mad if they just said, "Look, we're gonna keep going the veteran route, and we'll just have a veteran every couple of years." You know, okay, fine if you're comfortable with that.
What's his name is out there? I can't think of his name. A veteran, or I can't think of. What's his name? Anyway, there's a decent one out there. But
awesome. Then I just let me ask you this, Jason, and I think we'll kind of probably wrap it up after this. Do you think the Niners are taking a step forward this year to take a step back to take 2 steps forward next year?
I don't think that's what the intention is, but I can see it being that way with how young we are at a bunch of positions.
And the actions, right?
Yeah. Like, I don't think it's not like they're saying, hey, you know what, we're going to tank this year, get some guys some playing time. I don't think that's the intention. I think, but I could see growing pains, definitely see growing pains this year, especially like if Mac isn't coming back and we have to play one of the rookies like Donovan West, even though I think Jake Brundle or Brunskill would start over him, but say we went the route with putting one of those guys at center, I think you could easily see, not even mention Trey and his obvious growing pains that he's more likely to have.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see it.
I'm specifically talking about
what up, media?
Oh, what's up, media? How you doing, baby?
But yeah, I don't see them trying to tank in order to get it. But if there was a regression for the sake of we have all these young guys starting for whatever reason, like on the line, you know, maybe we start Banks and one of the rookies at guard, plus the center. Yeah, stuff like that. I could see it. It wouldn't be, you know, not the end of the world.
Like, and the reason I asked that is like their words are, you know, compete, you know, playoff, all that, fine. But their actions is just like, okay, so like, because to me this is why I feel, I'll say why we are and why we're not. I feel that we're not, because let's be real, the majority of this football team's coming back, at least defensively.
Yeah.
Like, we've got a few free agents that are gone and everything like that, but I feel that enough of those players that you can check off of lined up for the I'm doing legendary, brother. You know, any day I wake up a 5-time champion is a legendary day. So that's what I think is, because it's like, look, I think what they're trying to do is saying, hey, look, we'll keep the core of the team around Trey. You know, still good at the caliber defense we have, majority. I think that's what they're really, because the youth seems to be going more offensively than defensively. But so that's why I think that we are, is that like, look, you know, we got a good enough team around Trey that we can take some bumps and bruises, and that, you know what, we think he's a good enough player and can make enough plays that we'll be all right.
Well, I think I've said it on here a few times. It's not necessarily that I don't think Trey is going to be good. That's nor there, but I think the team around Trey is going to help his growth more than anything else, because they're going to be able to support him. And, you know, like, he's going to make a mistake. Then you got somebody like Kittle or Debo that can cover that mistake a little bit. Like, oh, look, man, don't do that. You know, don't throw it there. Don't run this, toss to me, something like that. Where I think that the core, especially on the offensive side, are going to be able to help him get better faster, rather than it just being him having to carry the team for the season.
And the veteran leadership, the good defense around him, that, you know, and I think that Trey can do what Jimmy does, and obviously more. But I think the problem is that obviously you would expect Trey would be less consistent of it. Trey's going to be a roller coaster this year. Jimmy, you knew what you were going to get. And fine, that was, and not saying that was the most amazing thing in the entire world. But how many times have I said on this show, Jason, coaches will always take a B player or a C player that they know that what they're going to get from, than a potential A player that they don't even know who's going to show up.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they drafted Trey to do the things Jimmy can't do.
Exactly. See,
So
I believe that Trey can do all the things that Jimmy can do, but Jimmy can't do all the things that Trey does.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he's never gonna be able to run like he does, and throw that deep ball and stuff like that. That's just not Jimmy's kid.
Just without even the athletic ability, so not including the run, all that, those type of things. I just feel that Trey can catch up on the things that Jimmy's better at than probably even right now. Definitely last year, but even right now, the things that Jimmy will be better at than Trey then is there's no reason that Trey can't get there. There's things right now that Trey is better at than Jimmy that, like we just said, that Jimmy can never do. Yeah. And I'm not even talking about running ability. Just being able to throw some of the throws that, like, no matter how many ways Jimmy pushes, no matter what, Jimmy just can't be able to. He won't be able to do that.
When we're talking about Mac, who's been snapping to him? Because I haven't, like I said, I haven't been able to watching that. Who's been snapping to him?
I didn't hear anything. Media, did you hear anything?
Between work and everything else, I just haven't had a chance to look up
I didn't hear. Like I said, I was just watching the press conference. I haven't seen Grant Cohn. I haven't seen anyone.
I did see what Aaron Banks looked like. You see him get ball buffed up this year?
Yeah, he is. Oh, I'm really that's actually one of my biggest storylines going into the.
See if I can find the picture.
Everybody's doing talk about Trey Lance, and of course we're all excited to see that and everything. Like, what about Aaron Banks? Oh, did you hear who was taking reps with Trey at center, first string center this today, or at all during OTAs?
There you go.
Yeah, let me see. Let's see what he's looking like. Okay, it looks good.
Yeah, like I said, he's definitely bulked up. You can see he's put on some muscle weight.
Yeah, he looks less baby fat.
Yeah, he doesn't have that chunky, the chubby face or anything. West, okay.
Yeah, I got it. Oh shit! Sorry, Jason. Come on back on, bro. My bad. I just kicked Jason out. We'll wait. Yeah.
My bad.
No. Oh, no. I thought that was me because I tried to.
Back on the wrong. I got 20 tabs opened up looking at stuff.
Oh, okay. So I thought I kicked you out the studio. I was like, oh shit. So I'm sure I saw West. I'm pretty sure. All right, cool. So media says that he saw West. That's what I would assume. I would assume that's.
Well, of all the guys that they drafted, he's probably the best center prospect right now.
Honestly, I don't even know if anybody we drafted I want playing center.
Why? West is the fourth. One of his main position at ASU.
Especially that A. So you're actually got a center.
Yeah.
And B. I trust Kyle to be able to fix the center situation. Even if West ain't the one, fine, go out and sign one in free agency.
I still think why not just roll with either moving slide Brunskill in or have Jake Brendel do it. If you really don't, obviously if you don't have
I think they think Brunskill is going to start at guard. You know what? Truthfully, honestly, wouldn't surprise me what ends up happening if it's West at center. Obviously, the tackles are we know, so that we're not even going to talk about that. If it's Jalen Moore and Brunskill at guard and West at center, both Brendel and West. Okay, both of them have centers. So fine. I really honestly think it's probably going to be Brendel.
If it's not Brendel, then I would think you'd slide Brunskill over, but then you're just what do you call it? Chopping the head and creating two more because if you can slide him over. Okay, now you got to fill two guard spots. So I mean, it's going to be interesting because those who ends up where is on the offensive line to me is going to be the most interesting thing going into next season because there's quite a few options that they have of pieces that can move around. Like I said, you can leave Brunskill at guard. Does Mac retire? What do we do on the other side if Mac comes back? If we slide somebody over, like Brunskill over, do we start? You know what I mean? So like I said, fitting these pieces together and finding the best 5 that work together, or do we go back to what we were saying last year, where Brunskill's best position is the 6th man? That way he can come in as needed.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And to me, honestly, I'd rather look at the guard than center. And I know that they're going to look and they're going to say that they took Aaron Banks, you know, and blah, 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 blah. But I'm just too many. And I know these people are YouTubers and everything. Well, Middlecoff worked in the front office of the Eagles. I just too many people. I want to be wrong, but he's just got Garnett vibes all over him.
Media saying Nick for right guard. From what I've heard, with how smart he is, I'm almost thinking him long term for center, maybe. Because Donovan West, even though he's played mostly center at like college and stuff like that, he's played guard and everything else. So I mean, if you have somebody of that high intelligence that they're that high on, I don't know. Like I said, there's a litany of things we could do because each guy is versatile. And I think that's one of the things I absolutely love about the draft is that each guy can slide into different positions and still be competitive. So we're going to find the best at each, you know, for those 3 interior spots. I
think to me, for the Niners to reach the level we all want them to this year, where it be acceptable. I think that if this team makes the NFC Championship game, obviously we'll have our frustrations and everything like that, but I don't think there's a person alive that wouldn't take that right now. If you say that we're in Tampa Bay this January with the chance to go to the Super Bowl, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I would take that. That's fine and say, okay, cool. That's anyway. So, to me, in order that to happen, the best coach this year has to be the offensive line coach, Chris Foster.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's the only spot I see a concern at. Quarterback, I mean, it's going to be is what it is. We'll find out. We're not even going to know what Trey Lance is at the end of this year. You know. You can at least have more of an argument either for or against, you know, because right now I think any argument for or against is ridiculous, you know, after 2 games.
Yeah, I love the people calling him a bust or the greatest of all time. It's like, come on.
Let
the kid play one way or the other. Let it play out. I've seen a ton of folks who say, let's just move on.
I do think there are things to be encouraged by. Like, to me, the fact that he got better in the Houston game, you know, got better. The first half was better than the second half. Those things that show me improvement, because what's really sold me on Trey Lance is the fact that everybody says, look, he's going to get better. He's going to work hard. He's going to be diligent. He's going to put in the, you know, Larry Krueger talks about how he loves the process of football. You know, I remember one of the things that the first people I started really whispering about hate on Cap, right? As far as like analysts and people like that, was them talking about the fact that it was a 9 to 5 to Cap. We talked about this last week. Being an NFL quarterback is a 24/7 job. Yeah. You're always an NFL quarterback because either you're out in public and you're, you know, in the public eye, you're always a quarterback because you even at home after you've left the facility, you're still studying film and everything like that. But Cap treated like a normal 9 to 5 job. I'm at the facility, I do football, I go home, I'm Colin Kaepernick, 26-year-old millionaire, you know? So Trey loves the process of football. And so that's really the thing that's encouraging, and that's what you saw. Okay, the more he's going to play, the better he gets. But we're not even going to know what Trey Lance is this year. What the only weakness I see on the field that I think would hold us back from winning is the offensive line. Secondary, at least you could avoid to some investments that the team's made. Now whether they end up being the right investments or not, the teams made investments in secondary this year.
Yeah.
Special teams. The teams made the investment this year in special teams that I don't think special teams will cost us games this year.
Hope not.
Fine. You can say whatever. It's not going to be top in the league. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
It just doesn't have to be bottom 3.
Yeah. It cannot cost us football games. It cannot cost us division games that we have no business losing. That's all I give a shit about. Robbie Gould will win the games for the special teams that he needs to for us to win. I believe in that. Money on game-winning field goals as a Niner. Hasn't missed one. Knock on wood. But so the secondary, first of all, the D-line it's going to be 2019. And they made the investments in secondary. Receivers, I think, are going to be fine. Running backs, I think, are going to be fine. Quarterback, I mean, we'll find that out, and I think it's going to be fine enough to win games. I don't think that Trey Lance is going to hold this team back. Fine, you could say he's not ready to be at the level where he can take us to the playoffs kicking and screaming. But I don't think he's going to be the reason that, the Niners didn't make the playoffs because of Trey Lance. I don't think that. May not be the reason we make it, but at the very least, I'll take that because Jimmy wasn't the reason we made it.
No.
So, anyway, and so ultimately, I think that it's the offensive line. That's the only thing that I see concerned. And
the biggest concern.
Both this season and long term, because then not only is it okay, fine, the offense screwed this season, has Trey started to get bad habits. Because the worst thing we could do is not allow Trey to develop because of a shitty offensive line. So, all right. Well, I think we're going to end it right there. Any final thoughts, Jason?
No, let's just see what happens. Stop freaking out over everything that Trey does. I'm tired of fighting with people over that.
Well, what did you say that you saw the stats were today?
He went 15 to 17 and 7 on 7s.
15 to 17.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I mean,
but again, I also think this is just practice. I'm not worried about these camps and everything. I'll wait till training camp.
The thing that and this is what sucks about OTAs, because the thing I would want to look for the most is, because I like to look for what the coaches look for, is that I think I give a fuck. Kyle Shanahan doesn't care. I mean, you don't want him to look so bad. You feel me? But the completions don't matter. What I think Kyle's looking for, and what sucks about not being able to know is, well, did he go to the right spot? Because that's what Kyle's going to care about. Yeah. Kyle's not going to care how pretty the pass would. Kyle's not going to care about all that, because whatever that will be developed, reps, whatever it is. Did you go to the right spot? When it's 4th and 2 and we're in New Orleans, can I count on you to make the throw, to the right spot? Because I will draw up the play that makes it open.
Yeah, you just have
because
to
ultimately, what does Kyle need Trey to do? Kyle needs Trey to hit Emmanuel Sanders in that Super Bowl. Kyle needs Trey to see the linebacker in the middle of the field. To understand this is the read. And then, all right, Joe. We'll go ahead and we'll see you next week.
Next week will be. We still have more OTAs to talk about. I guess we'll watch the rest of this week and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have some better news, because at least we'll have a couple practices to talk about. This is the one that the media is going to be at. So within a couple hours, I would assume you're starting to have Grant Cohn, Dave Lombardi, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I'm sure all those guys will start going live here the next like you said, about an hour or so.
Yeah, a couple hours or so. All right, y'all. All right, Jason.
Yep.
All right, so we got Jason. Before we get out of here, we of course got to remind you to help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link and save 10%. All you have to do is click on the link in the description of the video or podcast. Go to giant.com and use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your concert, theater, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Go to ninerfaithfulradio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, and follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Niner Faithful R on Twitter. And also, where is it? The coupon code for this week is HOPE. Or no, what was it? Where did I put it? Oh my God, this is embarrassing. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Thank you for tuning in to the end of the show. As promised, this week's discount code for 10% off of all Season 2 for the Faithful by the Faithful apparel is Season 2. 10% excludes any on-sale items and cannot be used with the combination of any other coupon. Coupon expires midnight, August 30th, 2022. I shall see y'all next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
See ya.